So there's two things you should probably know about me. One, when I first ordered my Fezzari, I didn't really know a whole lot about bike setup. And two, I'm a total color weenie. Hello everybody, and welcome to the channel. As always, my name is Todd, and I'm an old-ass mountain biker. And today, the Cascade Peak is getting an upgrade. As I mentioned, I didn't really know a whole lot about bike setup when I ordered the Fezzari, and I asked for an aggressive seating posture, and they gave me the bike with a 50mm stem on it, and I feel like it's just probably a little bit too long. And the stock handlebars only have a 25mm rise, and so I ordered a pair of range bars from PNW with 30mm rise. So hopefully with a shorter stem and a slightly higher rise on the bar, it's going to alleviate some of my back pain and also make it a little bit more responsive and playful. So let me go ahead and get these unboxed. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the handlebars because I'm really excited to see these. These are from PNW Components. It's the range bar. It's nice. Stickers, of course, that will go on the bike rack. Let's get this out of the box. I like that orange. Told you I was a color weenie. All right. So, KW edition on the back. There'll be a link to Kyle's YouTube channel below. But you can see clamp width 31.8, 780mm bars with a 30mm rise. One of the things that attracted me to these as well is they have 10 degrees of back sweep. And a lot of bikes are only 6 to 7. I will give Fezzari credit. The handlebars that they supply have 9 degrees, so this isn't a lot more, but that really kind of gives you a more natural hand position, hopefully reducing some of the fatigue you get from, pumping your arm up and down. It's nice. There's no rough edges. Ooh, maybe I'm wrong. A little bit of a sharp burr there. So that's a little bit surprising. I would have thought, high quality product like that, that might not happen. But I'm going to keep them at 780mm. I'm going to attach them to the stem before I put the stem on the bike, but we'll get to that in a moment. Put those off. All right. Then the stem. So as I mentioned before, I have a 50mm stem on my bike. And I started looking for some 35mm stems that I could upgrade to. The bike came with 35mm bar clamp width, and any of the nicer anodized colored stems that fit a 35mm width bike or bar clamp, boy, they were expensive. We're talking about Industry 9. The A35, it's $150. Deity has one for $100. So this one is from a company called 50/50, and it costs $50 on Amazon. Looks nice, right? I mean, same thing, I'm looking it over. I don't see any really rough edges. What's kind of cool though is I can see that they put some, Loctite on every bolt. So that gives me some confidence that they kind of know what they're doing there. Tells me, Newton meters to tighten them to. And there are different types of stems when you get them. So you got to look for whether or not you have something like this that says closed gap. Closed gap means I'm going to tighten this stem bolt all the way to make sure it is tight before I go ahead and tighten anyone else to make sure that I completely close the gap here. So yeah, and then before we get started really quick, I have a 4mm hex key to remove the stem bolts. I have a 5mm hex key to remove the stem cap, and I have my torque wrench ready to go ahead and tighten everything down when we're done. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the stem on the bar just tight enough that it holds itself together, and then we'll go ahead and start to take the other handlebars apart. Alright, so what I've done so far is I've attached the handlebars loose enough that I can still rotate them. But first thing I have to do is get the stem lined up. And a lot of people try to make sure that their handlebars are perpendicular to their front wheel. But one thing I saw in some pretty good advice is if you sight right down the stem, what you actually can do is look to see if your handlebars are equidistant to your front fork. That looks pretty good. And then once you have it, cinch it up. All right, now we have to set the handlebars front to back, up and down. And what I want you to notice is, that the brake levers and everything are loose so they don't influence me, but as you sit on the bike and you pick it up, it pulls your elbows out. And as you bring it down, it brings your elbows in. So that's how you figure out what's the right spot for my handlebars. What's the elbow bend you want? I tend to be right there in the middle, so I'm gonna go ahead and cinch it up with it right where logo is centered up. Awesome. Get my multi-tool. Now we can start looking at the grips. There we go. And hopefully this will feel real nice. I mentioned in another video, the channel is moving. It's official. We have bought a house in central Massachusetts. As a matter of fact, I am off this weekend to go see the house and start thinking about a new channel name.